Welcome to the spring edition of Inside Rice University. I'm your host, Chris Sanders, class of 2016 and Rice alumnus. The spring semester came to a close recently as my class walked out of the Sally Port for the last time as students. Here are some highlights from Rice's 103rd commencement.
When I first came to Rice, I made a lot of decisions based on what I thought other people wanted me to do. But over the years, with support of faculty and the friends I made, I got the courage to pursue my real passion of performing.
All for Rice's honor, we will fight on. It's crazy. It's so much work and so worth it when you look around and you see your college mates, and it's just all of these people who have been struggling with you, and now we're all here together about to walk across the stage and be so happy and go into the world and succeed in our own ways. I'm just so happy. I'm so happy.
I think the people are what make Rice different. It's why I came here. The people here are the best people I've ever met, and I couldn't be happier to walk out of the Sally Port with them tomorrow morning. Rice be true.
As we go from Rice, we should remember that we seldom have the luxury of knowing exactly how things are going to play out. However, instead of being overwhelmed by fear, indecision, and what could go wrong, let us dwell on what could go right, taking life as it comes and making changes as needed. We must not let our decisions be guided by fear, but rather by truth and by love.
You are a special community, and I think the world will need you to articulate even more fully and embody who you are and who you have been here even more fully in the next stage of your lives. Because racism, sexism, nativism, and fascism do not crumble under the weight of their own fallacies. They do not deconstruct because they are mocked. They do not fall apart because they are self-mocking. To be checked, they must be struggled against. They must be fought against. But most of all, I think they must be lived against. They must be lived against in the ways that you have practiced here.
Our world needs you. We need your knowledge and your creativity and your ambition, but we also need your kindness and your humanity. We hope in your journeys ahead you will hold your Rice values dear. These are to take responsibility both for yourselves and for the problems and injustices you see, to do all that you undertake with the utmost integrity, to participate in and contribute to your communities, and to pursue all endeavors with the highest aspirations of excellence. That is what we have asked of you while you are here at Rice, and that is what we ask for you as you become alumni of Rice.
Walk and hear your name be called is accomplishing this huge feat, really, especially being the 100th class. Incredibly important, and it's just been honestly just an honor. I feel really proud to be a Rice L today. Qui diceris Paracletus, altissimi donum
Let's celebrate leaving the dorms. Let's toast to the end of our meal plans. Let's kiss the ground and thank the skies that we'll never take another exam. But promise me, even if it hurts your heart, you will not stop learning.
Tomorrow, at least metaphorically, you'll be the least experienced person at your job. You may feel unqualified, undeserving, an outsider. You may be reminded of what it's like to be a foolish first year. I suggest instead you remember the strength, tenacity, and skill that you have, which enabled you to be graduating today.
I know we think the problems of the world are too vast and we can't make a difference. But I disagree. We may not be able to change every life, but we can change a few. And as you navigate your trade-offs, I hope that you'll try to do your part and be grateful that you can. And now, to all you owls out there, fight on, congratulations, and let's give Rice University a big hoot.
The joy of commencement is both seeing all of the families, watching them enjoy the culmination of dreams that started when these kids were 2 weeks old and 8 pounds, and seeing the joy in people's faces as at 22 they've actually accomplished far more than their parents ever multiplexed onto them in terms of expectations.
It's a dream come true. It's been 4 great years, and it's everything we thought it would be, and you can't describe the emotion as a parent.
I don't think that I will ever truly appreciate all of the sacrifices that they made. That we always put education first, and I hope that I will understand one day, but I'm not sure that I really ever will, and I am just grateful beyond measure.
I remember the 4 years ago that I get in and I bring him, but now I'm getting back, and it's glad for me and an honor for me to have him in this school.
Oh, it's a mixture of emotions, you know. It's sad because I'm leaving the university. Gave me a lot of great friends, great memories, lots of connections, and lots of everything. But at the same time, it's cool too because, you know, moving on to the next chapter of my life, excited for what the future holds, and excited to bring good name and good fortune to the Rice community.
When we dropped Adrian off, he was not yet 18, and I thought somebody was ripping my heart right out of my chest. And we live far away in Connecticut, so you know, I knew I was going to get limited access to my guy. Last night I said, you know what? Somebody put my heart right back where it belongs, and they gave me back a man, and we're super proud.
A job well done, son. A job well done.
Before the undergrads became grads, what they learned in the classroom was on display at the 2016 Engineering Design Showcase.
This year's Design Showcase is incredibly exciting because we've got 81 teams who have worked really hard either for a semester or for a year, or in the case of some teams, even longer, in order to solve engineering design challenges that come from industry, community partners, and from their research labs. And today's a day of celebration where they can demonstrate how good they are at solving these challenges.
So if you need more pressure or less pressure, you can just rock further forward or less forward.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
What a great deal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So this is our 800-pound thrust motor. We're 5 guys in ribeyes, and we came up with a temperature gradient meat thermometer.
And when it's time to remove it, the surgeon will just approach the child with the magnet, get close, and then it happens really quick, but the string will come out.
The surgeon will guide the loop around the fetal foot and then tighten it by pulling on the wires and tightening the pusher.
The showcase it's been a culmination of this whole entire year's of work. It's also been really fulfilling to spend this year doing our engineering projects and really getting our hands on after the 3 years of previous work.
I don't want to get nostalgic talking about it, but it's been great to work with a team of 3 of really good friends of mine, and we understand each other. We all have similar goals, similar aspirations.
It's incredible to walk around and get to talk to my peers and learn a bit more about the projects that I've seen them working on every day in the OEDK. It's incredible to see the results. I had no idea this type of work was being done on campus, and it's really quite inspiring.
So I actually transferred to Rice from a different college, and when I was looking to transfer, I was considering a few different options. Rice wasn't originally one of them until I saw these videos online. And I started looking through all the amazing projects that have been done here, and I thought, well, this seems cool. I want to do this myself. So those videos actually convinced me to apply here.
Overall, more than $20,000 in prize money was awarded to Rice students. Not all of the projects at the showcase were designed by seniors. Team SLED, which stands for Sea Lion Enrichment Device, worked with the Houston Zoo. Here's their story.
It was an Engineering 120 project, a freshman introduction to engineering design, and we worked all of the fall semester on it as a team of 6 students. I'm working with the zookeepers here at the zoo to kind of figure out what they look for in an enrichment device, and then kind of through the semester we go through the design process, figure out what's going to work, narrow down our kind of brainstormed ideas, and then build our final prototype to give to them at the end of the semester.
We're looking at the rice enrichment device that the rice students made for us today. It consists of 4 pieces, and the idea whenever we make enrichment is that it satisfies a specific goal. And in this case, it happens to be foraging and problem solving. So what the students did is they had to make sure that this device will float, and we wanted it to have 4 arms so that each of our 4 sea lions could be involved at the same time if we wanted.
Our primary concern with our design, since we're working with the zoo and with live animals, is we always consider the animal safety first. And so right away that knocked out a lot of potential materials. You don't want to use metals, especially with water.
Each section has a rotating collar that the sea lions must problem solve, and when they use their nose to push these pieces around, they can line up the hole to release fish or ice or toys that are found in these wells.
Never seen it used, no. We haven't seen it since we gave it to them in December. Do it, come on. All right, there you go. Okay, do they know what they're doing? Oh,
they already got one.
Okay.
Got one.
All right. Come on, get the fish.
Get the fish. There they go. They know.
Oh, do we make the
up.
hole not big enough?
No, they can stick their noses in there. I can see that.
Oh, he saw the other one.
He just found the other one.
Oh, guys.
They got
it. The next story is about one of our unconventional seniors, Kara Dougal. The senior goalkeeper for the Rice Owls soccer team made some important saves this year, and it turns out most of them were away from the soccer field.
Growing up, I've always known that I've loved soccer and I want to be a vet.
Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up!
When I first started looking at Rice, I found out that for vet school, it's actually a really good program and it's ranked really high when evaluating applications for admission, and fell in love with the campus, fell in love with the soccer program here, and everything just fell into place. In between playing soccer and the academic stuff at Rice, I was actually volunteering at the city shelter, and that was my passion, was for animals, and I actually heard about Houston has an estimated 1.2 million strays, and I didn't believe it. I went out on my own and went into an area low-income area where there were strays everywhere, and it just shocked me.
Hey baby, it's okay, Mama.
And so I started working with various groups and working with other people and met some amazing people, and we decided to form our own group, Bluebells Rescue.
Come here, sweet boy. Come on, sweet boy, come here.
And came up with a Facebook page and actually applied for our 501c3 nonprofit status.
Come on, pretty girl, hi.
Since 2014, we've rescued and found homes for over 300 dogs and a few various cats. You can see like her, she's got a ton of fleas and some skin issues, but she's a total sweetheart, aren't you? We actually go out in an area in South Houston and we feed 40 to 60 dogs that are living on the streets. And we take pictures of them, network them on Facebook, try to find fosters and homes for them and get them off the streets. So this one was hit by a car recently, and he's not walking on this leg. So we're gonna take him off the streets today and get him seen by a vet, get x-rays done on his leg, and try to find a foster for him. It can be overwhelming at times. I mean, the number of dogs needing help and the number that you can actually help don't add up a lot of times. I think that's one of the hardest things about me leaving for vet school, is that I know there's dogs on the streets that I've been feeding for years that I still haven't been able to save yet, and I'm gonna have to leave them.
Hi, good girl, yes.
You can check out our YouTube channel to find out more stories about some of the unconventional members of the class of 2016.
We meet at a college noted for knowledge, in a city noted for progress, in a state noted for strength. And we stand in need of all three. For we meet in an hour of change and challenge, in an age of both knowledge and ignorance. The greater our knowledge increases, the greater our ignorance unfolds.
Welcome back to Inside Rice University. Every year we come across a piece of research that makes us say, wow. This year was no different, and it comes from the world of nanotechnology. It's called Tesla-phoresis, and you've got to see it to believe it.
What we've designed, and we've done this very, very quietly, but we're glad to now release it to the world, is this idea of Tesla-phoresis, which is a discovery we made several years ago, and we've been developing it. Tesla-phoresis is, the simplest way to understand it is self-assembly at a distance, just long distance assembly of materials. And what we did was, because we're at Rice, we had plenty of nanotubes around, so we decided to use nanotubes. And what we discovered was that these nanotubes can actually string together and form wires by themselves under this electric field.
This fundamental idea of force acting at a distance, that you can have, instead of, when you normally build circuits and things like that, you have to have physical contact. Now we're talking about building circuits without actually touching them.
All right, we're just dispersing this. Power on, and up. I realized that a Tesla coil could actually do this if you designed it in a way to create a very strong force field in front of it. And so that was the engineering aspect of it. And then once I designed the machine, then all sorts of discoveries started falling out of it.
Oh, that was a good one.
Tesla-phoresis is one of those things, it's a project that there are just so many avenues, so many things that I think you can do with it. Not just making conductive wires, but taking it in so many different places, not only just biomedical and engineering, but taking it into different industries like silicone chips or exploring different conductive materials.
This also ties in just generally in nanotechnology that self-assembly is very big. That is, if you can get things to build themselves, just as in biology, we build ourselves.
The fascinating thing about the nanotube assembly, right, it comes from a single spot and it grows into this sort of web structure, and it looks like it's an alive thing because it's got electric fields just stitching them together. That was just a very cool thing, and when my son saw it, he called them webs. He thought it was like Spider-Man shooting webs out.
The story about Tesla-phoresis has gone viral and has more than 100,000 views. Our next story is about a group of freshman chemistry students who taught a local chef a thing or two about making ingredients for his local restaurant.
Do you want me to take the beakers over to the ethanol people?
That would be awesome.
You're using champagne yeast and you're ending up with about the same concentration of alcohol you'd see in champagne.
So is this where we would add like a mother?
This is exactly where we'd add like a mother.
Nailed it. So the collaboration started off as just an idea to figure out how to, and if we were doing the right by our shrubs. So it was having farmers that were coming and bringing us product and making sure that we don't lose those in the future. And so we buy as much as we possibly can, but to do that, you have to be able to use it in different ways. And forms of preservation are the oldest way that we know how to. And so just making sure that we're doing it chemically correct.
I knew that Rice was a really special place and that they'd have a lot of hands-on learning or experiential opportunity, but I did not know that I would have that opportunity literally 4 weeks less or even less into my freshman year.
What we were trying to do overall was we were looking at their vinegars and trying to see why they were different from the commercial vinegars. We looked at the alcohol, acidity, sugar, all those things. Through a variety of methods, we eventually found out that their vinegars were extremely alcoholic, more than the average wine.
Uh-oh. Not sure I have the license for that. But.
For me, the takeaway is that we're not, to get to the point where we want our shrubs to be that we're producing these shrubs from our own vinegar. Right now, we're basically just making cocktails with our stuff. So it's having to find out where the dilution rate is so that we're not just making ethanol or alcohol out of it, but we're actually going through the entire process and finding a way to make a delicious vinegar that we can add to our shrubs.
Once you've added the vinegar, it drops down.
So this is a case where we've actually had science meet real world, and where we've actually had scientific data convince somebody that the approach that they took initially wasn't complete and wasn't working.
So I think it's been a great opportunity for students to work with Chef Chris and then his sous chefs to explain to them how chemistry works and how microbiology works. Because at the end of the day, they know food, but they don't understand always what the behind-the-scenes science is that make all of those favorable characteristics that they want to see.
A new Glasscock School offering is also helping Houston area businesses. The program is called LEGO Serious Play, and it's helping to unlock employee talents.
These are your toys. This is not about your ability to build with Lego. What you're gonna do is I'm gonna give you a challenge, and you're gonna just kind of grab some Lego and you're gonna just go. You're gonna have 45 seconds. On your mark, get set, go, build a duck. And time. So let's hold up, let's see our ducks, everyone. Like, you're gonna have a little duck show.
So LEGO Serious Play is a facilitation method that's used worldwide. Of course, it was started in the land of Lego in Denmark. And it's been used at Harvard Business School, Stanford, and Fortune 100 companies. And it's becoming more and more popular in the US.
When it said team building communication training, I was expecting more of like a lecture type stuff, not to play with Legos.
I'll give you 4 minutes on, tell me what you do here. Put your job in a Lego.
I'd rather do this than a lecture.
And what is your minifig doing?
This guy is channeling all his energy towards both these things like that.
I saw a lot of creativity in my team members, which I really like to see in how they interpret, their roles and how they see that.
These are the metaphorical gears going off in my head. I'm trying to solve problems.
And the ways that they built their jobs, I think, helped me also kind of dig in a little deeper to how I can help to motivate them and inspire them and mentor them.
And I have to make it work with whatever I get presented with. So here's my Walrus truck. I now have a vehicle that works.
Being an unconventional wisdom kind of school at Rice, we are very heavy on innovation at the Glasscock School. We've started a Thinking on Your Feet and creative problem-solving class. This adds on to our offerings and provides a more innovative format for people to do their best thinking.
It's amazing how much creativity just kind of pops out of you the second these go down the table.
The way we're offering it right now is groups can come in and they can come do this program at the school, or we can go out to them.
We weren't really like thinking about it as team building. We were just kind of just playing around. It's a lot more fun than a lecture, I'll tell you that.
2, 1, and stop.
The spring semester was a successful one for Rice Owls athletics. The men's and women's tennis teams both won conference championships. The baseball team has been consistently ranked in the top 25. In the world of track and field, senior Evan Karakolis broke a school record in the javelin throw. And for the 4th time in school history, the women's track and field won the CUSA Outdoor Championship. Finally, the Brian Patterson Sports Performance Center is nearing completion for the upcoming football season. The first game at home is September 17th against the Baylor Bears. More than 400 potential new Owls flocked to campus recently to participate in Owl Days. For the high school seniors, it's a chance for them to better understand where they may end up for the next 4 years.
First
off, let me offer my sincere congratulations for you guys getting accepted to Rice. Awesome, great job.
A lot of people can read about Rice and just research it, but it's a whole different experience to actually be here and live here for a couple of days. So I think it's really good for information and just for the whole experience in general.
Kind of nervous, but I hope it's a lot of fun.
I'm hoping to make sure I want to go here, and I think I do, but just experience, the campus and its culture and get a feel for it.
Yeah, and it started like last weekend.
Owl Days is a 3-day admission event here at Rice University. It's a great opportunity for prospective students to come to Rice, hang out in our residential colleges, eat in some of our amazing serveries, participate in various events on campus like our engineering design showcase, and also different clubs and activities that are going on.
So we have been discussing several themes related to the Middle East politics.
They can also even attend classes, go to student panels. So it's just a great way to almost become like a mini Rice student for a few days.
Welcome to Rice.
Thank you. Everyone here is just so friendly. There's been so many times I've gotten lost and just been able to ask anyone where I could go. I found so many different people just walking around. Anyone will walk up to you and say hi, eat with you. Honestly, I love the people here, and it's the best part so far.
I mean, obviously there's like the websites and you can see pictures and you can read people's like what they've wrote about it. But I think the best way to get to know a school is by actually being there and experience like what it's actually like. And to me, this was just like a first-hand experience of like what would it actually be like to go here. And so it kind of convinced me that this was the place that would work well and that I fit in here. It seemed a lot different than a lot of other schools I visited. More sociable, I guess, more integrated.
I was committed. I had confidence in Rice, but coming here and having an awesome experience just makes that 10 times better.
I'm so excited. Like, I'm kind of sad and like bummed out that I have to go back to high school on Monday. Like, I'm just like, it's like a dream come true.
As we say hello to the new Owls, we're also saying goodbye to a Rice teaching legend. Dennis Houston is retiring after 47 years of teaching at Rice University. Here are his parting words.
It was so wonderful to teach students who learned quickly, even if they didn't write well when they came, and who all were fun to teach. And I thought of myself as somebody who couldn't have been luckier. And as it all draws to a conclusion, I just want to say that basically my teaching at Rice became eventually for me the perfect job. And as many of you know, I have loved it because this place has brought me so much fun and so much happiness. Rice and my life here has been magical. I shall miss it more than I can say tonight and more than I would probably want to know. So I will just stop and say, thank you all for coming and making this wonderful evening so special for me in a wonderful world where I've spent a good deal more than half of my life having so much fun. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Inside Rice University. To learn more about Rice or any of these stories, visit us at rice.edu. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We leave you with a scene from Rice Theater's spring performance of Eurydice. We'll see you next time.
Knock, knock! Who's there? I am Lord of the Underworld! Very funny. I am! Prove it! I can do chin-ups inside your bones. Close your eyes. Ow! See? You're pretty. You're little. I grow downward, like a turnip. What do you want? I wanted to see if you were comfortable. You're not itchy? No. That's good. Sometimes our residents get itchy. Then I scratch them. I'm not itchy. What's all this string? It's my room. Rooms are not